I think the stigma that comes with capsule wardrobes and as well as that minimalist wardrobes, it seems a little bit boring, a little bit simple, a little plain. In some cases, they're not wrong.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.
Hey there, fashion friends. Welcome to today's episode. I'm very happy that you have joined me here today. So if you are new here, a big part of this channel is being all style inclusive, making sure that nobody is left out, but all while incorporating a minimalist approach. And along with that, I like to share little tidbits on my own personal style, which is edgy, chic, minimalist. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to click the subscribe button as well as the little bell to get notified when I post my new episodes. All right. Okay, so if you clicked on this episode, you're wondering how to not have a boring capsule wardrobe. Well, I'm with you. I think the stigma that comes with capsule wardrobes and as well as that minimalist wardrobes, I think for some people it seems a little bit boring, a little bit simple, a little plain, maybe just lacking a little bit of personality, you know? So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I like a bit of flair, a little bit of personality in my wardrobes. So today's episode is really just speaking to a few different approaches that you can take to make sure that your capsule wardrobe is not boring. So I think without further ado, we should just get into it. Number one is start with the statement. So if you've seen my capsule wardrobe building episodes in the past, I speak to 5 different steps that I like to take to building my capsule wardrobe, which is the anchor pieces, the pairing pieces, the layering pieces, the top off pieces, and the sprinkle pieces. So if you haven't seen those episodes, I'll make sure to link them down in the description down below so that you can kind of catch up on my sort of methods. But ultimately, yeah, they're pretty straightforward. So with this approach, starting with the statement, you're ultimately taking the first step of building a capsule wardrobe, which is the anchor pieces. And with anchor pieces, I refer to those as the pieces that are going to anchor your wardrobe. They're going to be the pieces that everything else revolves around. Within those anchor pieces, this is kind of the time that you can choose those more statement pieces, those more stylistic detailed pieces, because the nice thing is you can pick something that might be a little bit more unconventional, a little bit more edgy, and then you can revolve the rest of the wardrobe around it to make sure that it's working with everything and it's still keeping that functionality and that efficiency, so you're not just throwing a wrench into the whole entire system with bringing in a statement piece that might not work with everything. So this is usually pieces that maybe have a bold color that's pulling you in. Maybe it's a bolder print or just any sort of print in general. Maybe it's just like an edgier type style. Maybe it's got more details going on. These are just kind of pieces that I like to call inspiration pieces. A lot of times when I build a capsule wardrobe, that is how I start off my capsule wardrobe, is by being inspired by a certain piece that's maybe a little bit more stylistic. So I'd say this is a great approach if you kind of already know the statement pieces that you want to incorporate into your capsule wardrobe. You can just start off with that in your first step. Number 2 is double it. So a lot of times when I'm creating a capsule wardrobe, I create a sort of general list, a generic category list of the things that I'm going to include, you know, like making sure I'm going to have a pair of jeans, a pair of trousers, you know, a shirt, that kind of thing. So with this approach, to make sure that you're incorporating some extra style, some extra personality, what I would do with this is do a list where you're doubling everything. So just meaning that you're writing down 2 jeans, 2 pants, 2 shirts, 2 t-shirts, you know, that sort of thing. So you can do this on paper, or you can just build out of your closet. Maybe it's laying the pieces out on your bed or using a rolling rack to place the pieces on. And the idea here is why to double each item, or at least at a minimum double each item, is that then what you can do is maybe you have 1 basic jean and 1 more stylistic jean. You can do this at any sort of capacity that works for you. Maybe it's that you have 3 per category, so maybe you have 3 pairs of jeans and like 2 are a more basic pair and 1's the stylistic pair. But ultimately what this is going to do is it's just going to make sure that you're covering all bases and that you're giving yourself all these different options. It's going to allow for you to kind of mix and match and bring in that statement when you want to, and you know, maybe tone it down a bit when you don't want it. So it's just a great way to cover all bases. Number 3 is start with basics. So with this, ultimately you're just going to go through all the steps and build a foundational wardrobe that is just basics, is basics, is classic, timeless pieces. And with that, you're just kind of creating a nice foundation to build off of. I've done a video on this recently. I did a capsule wardrobe on the essential basics, and that might help you out with this one because it goes through kind of like the basics that really can help you have style and diversity over years and years and be able to change it out and refresh it and make it new, you know, over the years. It also will fit within most style type categories. But the great thing with this is that once you build that foundation, then you kind of know that you're covered. And then when you come across something that speaks to you or inspires you, then it's easy to then bring that in and incorporate that into that wardrobe. This is sort of an approach that you need to be a little bit more patient for, but I think over time will end up building you a lot stronger of a capsule wardrobe because you're basically just waiting to come across pieces that really speak to you, that really inspire you. Along with that, within the basics, within the essentials, I always say it's good to kind of try to find a version of each basic that's got a little bit of style to it. It's not too basic, because then that itself will bring some personality and style to it. And number 4 is build your sandwich. So this approach is very simple. It's a great one that you can just start off with like tomorrow. You can use it for an already existing capsule wardrobe that you're kind of feeling stagnant with, that's kind of feeling a bit blah or boring. You're speaking to like an understated styling method. A lot of times that includes like a classic, more basic outfit that is then sandwiched with stylistic pieces. This approach is usually one that's focused on shoes. So I'm a big believer that I think shoes can dictate your wardrobe 100% and can completely change an outfit or a vibe of a look. So this is a great way to bring that statement, bring that style to a boring wardrobe. So that's ultimately all it is if you got a basic sort of capsule wardrobe, then what you're doing is you're incorporating things like accessories and shoes to then bring in that statement and that style. It is a little bit easier to be a little more flexible with it, and again, to change things out as the years go on. This is a great way to incorporate trends if you're somebody that's still into trends and still be doing that in kind of like a sustainable way. So I would say this is definitely the most simplest approach and one that will work with any style type out there. All right, so those are my 4 approaches to not have a boring capsule wardrobe. Well, I hope that you weren't bored with today's episode. Definitely comment down below and let me know if you liked today's episode, if there's more that you would like to hear on this topic on boring capsule wardrobes or helping boring capsule wardrobes. Let us know if you have anything to add, any little tips and tricks that you like to do to add a little zazazoo to your capsule wardrobes. But either way, if you liked today's episode, if you enjoyed today's episode, if it didn't make you bored, then make sure to give me that thumbs up, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe for future weekly episodes, and make sure to click the little bell to get notified when I post my new episodes. All right, my lovelies, you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay safe, love and support each other, and we will definitely be chatting soon. Bye.